an original podcast from podlatino.com.
For as long as humans have made music, we've found ways to record and sell it. From vinyl records to cassette tapes, from compact discs to digital downloads, and now into the strange new territory of NFTs. The business of sound has never stopped evolving. Each format shift didn't just change how people listened, it changed who made money, who lost money, and how the entire industry operated. In this episode of Behind the Charts, we'll trace the economic journey of music formats, from CDs to NFTs, to understand how technology keeps reinventing the value of sound. Let's start with the CD era, because for many in the industry, it was the golden age. In the 1990s and early 2000s, compact discs dominated. They were cheap to produce, easy to distribute, and sold for high retail prices, often $15 to $20 each. Labels loved them. Artists could go platinum with millions of physical sales, generating tens of millions of dollars in revenue. For retailers too, CDs were a booming business. Chains like Tower Records and Virgin megastores built empires on CD racks. At its peak in 1999, the global music industry earned nearly $40 billion, largely thanks to CDs. But there was a downside. The margins weren't always fair. Labels took the lion's share, while artists often received a small cut per disc sold. Still, the sheer volume of sales meant that even a few cents per unit could make stars rich. For mid-level artists, though, the system was less kind. Many struggled under debts from advances and recoupable expenses. The CD boom was lucrative, but it reinforced the power of labels as gatekeepers. Then came the crash, triggered by digital piracy. Platforms like Napster, LimeWire, and Kazaa allowed people to share music files for free. Suddenly, why would anyone pay $18 for a CD when they could download the same songs in minutes? The industry's revenues plummeted. Lawsuits against Napster and others tried to stop the bleeding, but the cultural shift was irreversible. People had tasted free access, and the old model was broken. The next phase was digital downloads, led by Apple's iTunes Store, launched in 2003. Steve Jobs convinced labels to sell songs individually for 99 cents. This was revolutionary. No longer did you have to buy an entire album just to get the one hit you loved. Downloads stabilized the industry somewhat, creating a legal way to own digital music. But the economics were different. A 99-cent sale generated far less than a $15 CD, and piracy never truly disappeared. For artists, downloads meant smaller checks, unless they could generate massive sales. For labels, it was a compromise, better than piracy, but less profitable than CDs. By the late 2000s, streaming entered the scene. Services like Spotify and Pandora offered unlimited access for a subscription fee or free with ads. At first, many in the industry resisted. How could giving away unlimited music make money? But gradually, streaming proved itself. By 2015, it was the dominant model, and by 2022, it accounted for over 65% of global music revenue. Streaming saved the industry from collapse, but it also created new controversies. Low per-stream payouts, power concentrated in playlists, and endless debates about fairness. Now, in the 2020s, a new frontier emerged, NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. These blockchain-based assets promise to revolutionize music ownership by making songs or albums collectible in digital form. Artists could sell unique editions, concert tickets, or exclusive content as NFTs, often generating huge sums directly from fans. For example, in 2021, musician 3LAU sold an NFT album for more than $11 million. Kings of Leon released their album When You See Yourself as an NFT, offering perks like concert access. The hype was enormous. But the NFT boom also came with skepticism. Critics argued that NFTs were speculative, environmentally costly, and inaccessible to average fans. Prices fluctuated wildly. By 2023, the NFT craze had cooled, though some artists still experiment with blockchain as a way to bypass labels and connect directly with fans. The promise of decentralization remains, but the reality has been mixed. Through all these phases, one truth stands out. The format determines the business. CDs made labels rich, downloads fragmented revenue, streaming centralized power with platforms. NFTs experimented with cutting out the middlemen. Each shift reshaped not just money, but also culture. Albums became less important in the download era. Singles became dominant in the streaming era. And NFTs tried to reintroduce scarcity into a world of abundance. For artists, the lesson is clear. Owning rights is more important than owning formats. Whether it's a CD, a download, or a token on the blockchain, what matters most is who controls the master and the publishing. That's where long-term value lies. The journey from CDs to NFTs is also a story of resilience. The music industry has been declared dead more than once, yet it always adapts. Each time technology disrupts the model, new winners and losers emerge. Some artists thrive, others fade. Some companies collapse, others rise. But music itself endures because the demand for sound is eternal. So when we look back at the business of sound, from shiny discs to digital files to blockchain collectibles, we see not just the evolution of technology, but the constant reinvention of value. Behind the charts, every note carries not just emotion but economics.